Okay. Okay, we'll call this library board meeting to order, 9 a.m. Wednesday, October 8th. First matter is the approval of the agenda. Is there any omissions, additions, or errors to report? Not seeing any head nods, so look for a mover and seconder that the library board agenda for October 8th be approved as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Helena, seconded by Patricia. Thank you. Any questions regarding the agenda? Not seeing any. All in favor? Okay, carried. Does any member have a declaration of pecuniary interest? Not seeing any. So we have previous minutes to approve. Looking for a mover and seconder that the minutes of the Huron County Library Board meeting of August 14th, 2025 be adopted as circulated. Do I have a mover, please? Jane moves, seconded by John. Any questions regarding those minutes? Not seeing any hands. All in favor? Carried. Presentations. We do have one, which is a technology update, and it is going to be presented by Shannon. So Shannon, the floor is yours.
So, hi, I'm Shannon. I'm the Information Services Librarian, and if I can, I'm hoping everybody can hear me okay online too. So yes, I would like to bring a little bit of an overview of the information services at the library system here as we are right now. So that would be my next slide, please. Wonderful. We have a variety of patrons and in what we call the object library as part of the object library. And we have a lot of STEAM kits because people tend to forget the arts still in STEM, but it is STEAM kits. I'm an arts person, so it takes me a little moment there. But we have our internet hubs and hotspots. We have some Kano computers. That actually is the picture that is on the slide. We have Ozobots, we have Cubelets, SpheroSpark plus robots. We still have Daisy Disk readers, and what I'm going to talk about in a second here is about the coming soon to our object library are the Envoy Connect players, which is an audiobook player for people with print disabilities, because CELA unfortunately is no longer able to produce the Daisy discs. So we are now will be offering the audio player. And we're hoping to actually launch that in the next couple of weeks for Ontario Public Library Week. So laptops in-house for patrons who might have forgotten theirs. The bank of computers are all in use. So they're in-house use only, but we offer those in most of the branches. Next slide, please. So other technology that we have for staff and patrons for programming purposes are the button maker, the Cuba Maze, Kiva Planks. We do have a SpheroSpark Plus classroom kit, so people are able to get together as a group of about 10 kiddos can come and play with the little robots. We have VR kits that circulate among the branches and a Cricut kit now. We currently offer several electronic resources. I like to say that we have a good overview of what is available for our patrons for their everyday needs or for more specific needs as well. This is the complement of our virtual offerings for our electronic resources. And next slide, please. We also have a partnership with Contact North. So if anybody is wanting to extend their educational needs, we do have that partnership. And we also offer access to the Canadian Encyclopedia, which is a great resource for knowing, our history in Canada. And they offer specialized collections as well. We have 3 new electronic resources that we've introduced in the last number of years. We have Gale courses for, which is academic courses offered for free to our library card holders as well as to our staff. And I have actually taken a course or two, and I think they're really great. So if they go from arts to business to learning how to actually use Excel, if everybody needs to know that, because, you know, it's out there. We also offer access to CBC Corner, and that is access to all CBC programming, news, books, music, and a variety of their television shows. And I will talk a little bit about these three in the next slides. And the other one that we've just we introduced in the last couple of years was Press Reader. So our selection of newspapers and magazines. And so we'll talk, like I said, a little bit about the other these new resources. So the next slide. So as I was saying, that CBC Corner is access to all CBC platforms, including GEM. You do need to have a free account with CBC in order to access GEM, but CBC Corner will give you a localized news as well as anything across the country if you're interested. There is a individual subscription that you could then get and pay for. It is paid for if you do not want to have ads. But if anybody is a YouTube watcher, you can get used to ads. But as I was saying, it's news, current events, kids programming, books, music, and all television. And movies. There are some movies as well on GEM if they're going to be on the CBC station. Sometimes they'll put them on GEM as well. And as I've mentioned, that Gale Courses is professional development and personal enrichment. The courses are 6 weeks typically, and they consist of 24 hours worth of educational time. And as that's the maximum. And as I was saying, it's pretty much any and every topic that you could be interested in learning, especially the intro to AI, since that is everywhere right now. Perfect. And Press Reader, I particularly enjoy using as well because it is local, country specific, and global news and magazines. It is a variety of languages, so it is accessible in that way. And the top publications at the time are Time, National Geographic, and when you use it, you'll actually come up with a featured list. So if you use specific newspapers, they'll then start suggesting newspapers because that's what electronic resources do these days. However, next slide, our most popular resources, you would think that Press Reader is gaining in popularity in use, but our most popular electronic resources are pretty much our variety that offer the ebooks, audiobooks, and film. And I'll talk about those in a minute as well. But I really, like I said, I really enjoy what I've curated for our electronic resources collection because it are interested in learning. So if you like to read little books to littles, we have them for you online as well. Thing that's of interest. So we're going to go forward a couple of pages. Yeah, and the next one. Perfect. So as I was saying, we have our most popular e-resources currently are Hoopla, and I'll talk about Hoopla right now. It is a movies, music, ebooks, audiobooks, comics, and television resource. Patrons have 5 checkouts per month. They are not rollable. So if you only check out 2 items in 1 month, you do not get 8 in the next month. It is still only 5. And you need to have your library card and create a Hoopla account. So it'll be an email address and a password. And there is a variety of loan periods for each format as well. But you are able to get that on your home computer, your mobile device, your tablets, and as I said, you must have an account and verify with your library card number. Next, please. Our second most popular resource is Canopy. So if those of you who are interested in independent and world and actually popular like Warner Brothers movies, this is the resource for you. It is we have a collection just for kids as well. We've been offering Canopy probably now for about 10 years. And in the last couple, they changed their way of access. So it used to be 10 plays a month. It is now 30 tickets based on length of the item that you're wanting to stream. It could be 1 ticket, could be 2 tickets, could be 5 tickets. But because those are all interchangeable for the type of program that you're actually watching, like if it's a season of television series or that sort of thing. And then we also have Canopy Kids and the Great Courses, which are one access for an entire month. So could be 5 tickets, as I was saying, but then you have it for 30 days. So you don't actually have to then go, oh, I only have 30 tickets, but there are 30 classes in this one course. You get a class, the entire course for the entire month for 5 tickets. So, and it is available via browser or the mobile app. So you can take your movies with you on the go. And I'm leaning because the sun is starting to get in my eyes here. It's okay. Thank you, Jenny. That's perfect. Right there. Yep, that's fantastic. Thank you. And our last most popular, as they are all popular though. Everybody's getting sun in their eyes. It's Cloud Library. We belong to a group called CloudLink. It is around 30 library systems in Ontario. We share a collection with them as they share their collections with us. And it gives our patrons access to over 20,000 titles and copies of ebooks and audiobooks. Cloud Library has its idiosyncrasies, as every resource does. But when it comes to our books and our collection, our patrons know it's a book owned by us because it has a hold button on it if it is checked out. Otherwise, it could be anybody's, and it's wonderful that we have access that way. I like to consider it digital interlibrary loan because we have access to our books first, but if we're not using it, anybody else can in the collection, in that CloudLink group, can have access to it. And I wanted to chat a little bit about ebooks and audiobooks in the libraries. We have a variety of content licenses when it comes to our Cloud Library collection. They are known as metered and perpetual licensing. Perpetual kind of is obvious. It is continuous and always. We do not have to rebuy typically that license. The other ones are in the metered ones, can be a number of checkouts that it's limited to. Either 26 is most typical, 52 can be an option, but most often it's actually a yearly license. So either 1, 2, 5, there are some upwards of 7 because of the publisher's discretion is where it falls. And it's one of those situations that you don't really kind of realize how much a license is. Some of those $5.99 ones that I've mentioned here could be perpetual because they might be a self-published item that is of interest. We have several actually that I just recently bought a whole series that is out, and the holds list is months long on this one. And I'll be honest, I'd never heard of the author before, and I thought, someone wants the 7th one, let's get the entire one. They were $5.99 each. So it was really great, and they're perpetual. So we don't have to. But I have seen an audiobook upwards of $500 for the license, and it was yearly. And I went, No. But the neighborhood of a license could be anywhere between, for costing, anywhere between 25 to $50, $60 for an ebook, or upwards of 140 for an audiobook. And it all comes down to publisher discretion. The checkout one, the 26, publishers latched onto that because librarians told them that a typical lifespan of a hardcover book is 26 checkouts. Hence why it's 26. Even though it's access, don't have a physical item, this is what they like us to do now. And that's okay. It's what we have to do in order to provide our resources. I particularly enjoy Cloud Library, but I'm not biased. It's like picking your favorite child. I can't do that. I do, but I can't. Anyway, so that is how ebooks and audiobooks work in the library system. And I will be glad to answer any questions that people have about licensing or costing or anything like that, because this is what we do. One of the things that we just introduced, oh gosh, was it in 2023? Yeah, were the Holtz pickup lockers in Goderich and in Bayfield. I have it as 2024, but we were working on it in 2023. And this allows patrons access to pick up their holds 24/7, so they don't have to go into the library. They're able to pick them up at their convenience. The only things that are not accessible by the lockers are the object library items or the internet devices because of weather. Just because things get cold or too hot, and we don't want to have anything malfunction because of that. But the locker system is great. And I will, I'd love to answer any questions about that as well. But yeah, I would say if you're in the area and want to test them out, send a hold to either Bayfield or Goderich, and you can have a look-see. Next slide, please. Wonderful, thank you. We are also in the midst of a program. Is that what it's called? We belong now to something called Library Impact Ontario. It is a survey created by and spearheaded by Toronto Public Library. They manage all the surveys and the data that come in from the surveys that we conduct, and they house the server and deal with all of that. But it is created to help libraries leverage data and patron use and of technology to find the gaps that we may have, and help with advocacy campaigns, program within the system. And the survey is actually called Bridge. And actually it's a Bridge toolkit. And it makes a perfect sense when we're identifying the gap, because we want to bridge said gap for technology and access for our patrons. We have a patron and staff survey. They are offered at different times of the year. Currently, we are actually in the month of a staff survey. Next month, we will be offering the patron survey, and the next ones will be in April and May. So at this point in time, we're doing it twice a year. The patron one is only twice a year, but staff is only twice a year. Patron could be upwards of 4, depending on what we want to investigate for our technology offering. And but right now we are just holding them twice a year, as I just said. So Toronto Public Library will also send out a yearly report, or by a couple of years. Right now, the most recent one is 2023, 2024 for the report. And I will have access to that on our website pretty soon if people want to read that as well. So, because we were participants for a couple of minutes there in 2024. So we do have some results. And then we will use that for programming purposes, budgeting possibly, and just figuring out where we can bridge that gap if we have any. So And then the last slide is questions.
Perfect. Thank you. Does any board member have any questions or comments for Shannon? Helena?
This is excellent. I love the electronic resources. They're very valuable. But one of the things that surprised me is we don't have access to National Film Board. I just didn't know where to look.
Yes. We'll look together, Lena, and I'll let you, I'll do some playing around too, but we do have access to the National Film Board, some of the movies through CBC. So.
That's why I ask questions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other board member have questions? Helena?
Well, another is the post office strike. Does that affect access to the Bayfield locker?
No, because the all our books go through the intra library van delivery system. So from admin and everything that how we pass things around. So
You said the locker's in the post office.
it is in the post office. But as far as I know, the post offices shouldn't be locked. I'll have to look into that. But it shouldn't affect that in any way, even though there's no mail being delivered, that area ideally shouldn't be locked. Yeah. But I will definitely look into that. I'm gonna make a note. Thank you.
Bayfield.
Yeah.
Patricia?
I can't find the raised hand button, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, just raise your hand like you did. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So the last item you talked about kind of sounds like a research study. Is it just ongoing forever? Like, is there a timeline on this? I like that you're getting reports. That will be really interesting to see. But I was just wondering if there's a period, how long this is on for.
We haven't actually decided how long we'll participate, so it is indefinite. Yeah, we can participate as long as, number one, Toronto Public Library is going to continue it. They've been doing this now almost 10 years. Actually, I think this is the 10th year for Bridge in Toronto Public Library. And they opened it up to the province, I think, in about 2017. So we can be a part of it as long as we deem it necessary. And with as much as technology changes. Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Any other, Nick?
Hey everyone. I just wanted to comment to Shannon how much I appreciated your presentation, and also how much I appreciate the e-resources. I'm really glad to hear that Hoopla and Cloud Library are as popular as they are, because they're really, really excellent services that I know I've gotten a lot of use out of too. So
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thanks, Nick.
Any other questions or comments? Not seeing any hands, so we'll move to the motion that Huron County Library Board receives presentation as presented for information. Do I have a mover, please? Nick moves and seconded by Helena. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, thank you, Shannon. Up next is board member comments. Does any board member wish to provide comments? Helena?
I will mention that it seems like every meeting I go to, the library gets mentioned as a valuable resource. So I'd really like to thank you for everything that you do for our communities.
Including the meeting that we were at yesterday, right?
Yeah,
Belonging
library
Lives.
came up.
Yeah, 100%. So it was came up numerous times. The panel was good. Yeah, so thank you for being on the panel. I have a comment I'll provide. Beth and I met with a person that wanted to share some ideas about the Goderich branch, right? And so we met with her inside the branch with some staff, and she shared her ideas. I thought it was a good meeting, open, transparent, and being willing to listen to you know, what are the possibilities? She was looking at it from the children's section of adding some things and a little more availability for a bigger children's space in the Goderich Library. So we're going to continue to have those conversations, right?
Yep, there'll be a report next month for the board on that.
Okay,
Mhm.
good. So I just thought, let everyone know. It's always good to, you know, have those meetings with people in person if we can and listen to their concerns and comments and answer questions. So I want to thank Beth for making herself available for that meeting and the staff at Goderich Library as well. They were very friendly to deal with, right? Yeah, it was a good meeting. So appreciate it. Okay, if there are no other comments, I'll look to online to make sure first before I move on. Nothing. Okay. Up next is the reports from library staff. So this is where Beth does a lot of talking. Right, Beth? So the first one is December 2025 events outside library hours.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. This is a standard report that we bring to the library from time to time to ensure that they are informed of any programming or events that are happening at our libraries outside of their regularly scheduled hours. You'll see that some of the programs are occurring in our single staff branches, so that helps facilitate doing a book club, for example, after hours. And then we do have some programs upcoming that tie into various holidays that are upcoming on the calendar.
Okay. Any questions for Beth regarding that? Not seeing any hands, so I'll move to the recommended motion that Huron County Library Board accepts the report as presented for information. Do I have a mover, please? Moved by John and seconded by Nick. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Up next is the monthly update, July to August 2025. Beth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, just a few pieces that I will highlight for the board and then happy to respond to any questions. Shannon did mention the envoys that we're launching later this month, and that is another piece of technology that staff do need to learn. And so we're thankful to the East team who has been piloting that and kind of understanding how they work, and they'll fill that critical gap as we lose access to the DAISY discs. You'll see mention in the report of our Game On programming that was themed programming that was Danica, our youth program developer's first big project to roll out that was really well received, and it's helped us develop our understanding of youth and kind of what is interesting and engaging to them. So we're looking forward to carry on more work with Danica moving forward. We've talked about Seaforth at this table, but I'm excited that you can see some of the pictures of the transformation of Seaforth in this month's report. And we are having talks with the Ontario Genealogical Society about them coming in to do some programming in the branch to support that collection. You will see mention in the report charges we are actually making are not lining up with the statements that they are providing us, and that is across the province. So that is something that they were working on. Unfortunately, right now, due to the Canada Post strike, ILO is currently shut down and will be until the strike is over. And lastly, I will just mention that, again, we've talked about the emotional intelligence training that the library staff are doing. All teams have now completed the first session of that and been really pleased about the amount of engagement from all of our staff and the positive feedback that we've been receiving. And we have just started round 2 of that. Every team is doing 2 sessions. So we've had one team complete their second session of that, and the remaining teams will be going through that by the end of the year. We have submitted a conference proposal to the OLA to present on that as well. We've seen a lot of interest from other departments and other organizations, so we're hopeful that we can talk about that a little bit more on a larger scale.
Yeah, thank you. Any questions or comments for Beth regarding that? Alina?
I have a question on them. The month is, July was the same as last year, but August was a lot lower circulation than last year. Any idea why?
I don't have any specific insights. I think I do recall last year branches specifically commenting about the number of folks that they were seeing. So I think last year we were seeing very elevated levels, and this year could have been a more normal, but we would have to look at a longer term trend to really determine that. But otherwise, I haven't heard of any specific instances or examples. It was in, Jenny, I'm going to ask you, it was in July that Seaforth was closed, correct? They were open for August. So that wouldn't have impacted the August.
Yeah, that
numbers.
wouldn't.
And there were no significant branch closures. So
We had the one, I guess, a half day branch closure closure for the Warden's event. That would have been in August. That was August
Yeah,
last year instead of July. But otherwise, yeah. Last year might have been the anomaly.
Weather might be a factor,
Mhm.
right?
People outside.
Yeah, you know, it's the thing, right? Hot weather, some people stay indoors with the air conditioning too, right? They don't, you know, it's true. It sounds odd, but they do, right? So cold weather, they stay inside, hot weather, they stay inside, right? So any other questions? Okay, I'll read the recommended motion that Huron County Library Board receives the report as presented for information. Do I have a mover, please? Moved by Helena, seconded by Warden Heffer, maybe? Yeah, all right. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Up next is policy review, service delivery model policy update. Beth, please.
Thank you through you, Mr. Chair. This is a policy that board members saw at our last meeting. We have made an update to the sentence structure that was brought to our attention at that meeting, and this is now being brought forward for final approval from the library board.
Okay. Any questions regarding this? Not seeing any hands. Okay. Read the recommended motion. Huron County Library Board receives a report as presented for information, and further that the Huron County Library Board approves the service delivery model policy as outlined. Do I have a mover, please? Moved by Jane, seconded by Helena. Okay, any questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. That gets us through all the reports from library staff. There are no correspondence. Financial statements not available at this time. And we do have closed to the public session. So I will look for a mover and seconder that Huron County Library Board does now go into close to the public session at 9:32 a.m. under section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended to discuss items that relates to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, CEO performance review, and further that Director of Legislation Services, County Clerk, our friend Susan Cronin, remain in attendance. Do I have a mover, please? Warden Heffer moves, seconded by Nick. Okay. All in favor? Carried. We'll take a couple-minute recess just to get everything going online and allow people to remove themselves from the room.
When Lupita gives you the word, that's the word.
So
Go, Phil.
I'll come.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, we are back and open, so I will look for a recommended motion that Huron County Library Board rise from close to public session at 10:02 a.m. Helena moves, seconded by Patricia. Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Next meeting. Yes.
Reporting out of the close.
Okay, I have to report out a close. Oh my Goderich, I almost forgot to do that. We were in close to do the library board CAO performance review. I want to thank everyone for their comments. It's greatly appreciated. A lot of good things were discussed, and we will move forward now into the next meeting. Is that okay with you?
That's perfect.
Okay, perfect. Next meeting of Huron County Library Board will be Wednesday, November the 12th at 9 a.m. right here, same place, same channel. Okay, thank you. Now I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Warden Heffer and Helena, and that adjournment is at 10:03 a.m. folks. Thank you. Enjoy the sunshine. All in favor? Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Patricia. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, John.